Here's an important point, and we'll have a lot of new information here. The flight time for such missiles will be comparable to the threats we see coming against Russia. We know how we can do this, and we will implement these plans immediately as soon as we see such threats becoming real. I don't think that the international situation today I don't think that the international situation we have today requires further escalation immediately. This is not what we want. And I would like to add something. The United States once sought global domination through global missile defense program. They should abandon these illusions. We will always come up with an appropriate response. Our new weapon systems I mentioned in my State of the Nation address last year, this work continues consistently. We've launched the manufacturing of the Vanguard system. This year it will be supplied to the 1st Regiment of the Strategic Missile Forces. We are also continuing to test the Sarmat heavy missile, Peresvet, and hypersonic missiles, Kinzhal, are being tested on combat duty, and our personnel have gained some experience of using this system. Soon, Peresvet will be commissioned and will be put on combat duty. We'll continue working on the MiG-31 fighter jets equipped with Kinzhal missiles. We are also testing Burevestnik and our Poseidon unmanned subsurface vehicle with unlimited range. And one more point. This spring, we will launch our first nuclear submarine carrying this unmanned subsurface vehicle. Also, I will make another official announcement today about a new system. Remember last time I said there were certain things that it was too early to mention back then, but now the time has come for me to announce another new project. We've been working on this successfully, and when the time is right, we will complete this work. This is a hypersonic missile called Tsirkon. It has the speed of Mach 9. It has the range of 1,000 kilometers and can hit Navy and land targets. Can be launched from a ship or a submarine, and it can work together with the Caliber system, so it will not be too costly for Russia. To protect our national interests, for the next 2 or 3 years, 2 or 3 years ahead of the government procurement program, the Navy will receive 7 new submarines, and soon we'll start building 5 more major Navy ships, and another 5 new ships will be built before 2027. To finish the subject of the INF Treaty and the U.S. withdrawal from this treaty, I would like to say another thing. The U.S. policy on Russia in recent years can hardly be described as friendly. The legitimate interests of Russia are being ignored. We see all sorts of anti-Russian initiatives, and this is totally uncalled for. We see new sanctions imposed on Russia time and again. We see unilateral efforts to dismantle the existing system of international security treaties, and at the same time they call Russia the biggest threat to the United States. This is wrong. This is not true. Russia wants to have equal relations with the United States. Russia doesn't threaten anybody. Whenever we do anything, we do this in response So we are defending ourselves in all those situations. We do not seek confrontation. We don't want confrontation, especially with a global power like the United States. But it seems that the United States does not notice how the world is changing today and where the world is going today. The United States continues with its inconstructive policies. This is not in the U.S. best interest, but it's not up to us to decide. We see that these are very capable people. However, among the ruling class in the United States, you have a large number of people who only care about their exceptionalism and their superiority over everybody else in the world. It's their right, of course, to think whatever they want to think, but they should be able to count at least. I do believe they know how to count, so let them count the range of our future missile weapon systems. Let them count first, and then based on that, they should make their decisions that would create additional threats to our country. And of course, whatever they do, Russia will respond to that. Russia will always make sure that it is secure, absolutely secure. I've said this before, and I would like to repeat, we are ready for further talks on arms control, but we are not going to keep knocking on the door that's locked. We will wait for our partners to come to the realization that this kind of dialogue is necessary. We'll continue building our military. We will improve the quality of combat training, relying on the experience we gained in Syria. And basically, all the commanders of major land units, special operations units, military, police, auxiliary units have received such experience. Air Force commanders for long-term development of our military, for long-term development of our country, we need peace. And whatever we do in the military area is only to make sure our country and our people are secure. So nobody would even consider attacking Russia or trying using force to put pressure on our country. Colleagues, we have ambitious goals ahead of us, and we work consistently to achieve them. We're working on our social and economic development to provide all the necessary conditions for self-fulfillment so that we respond to the rising challenges of the world today. We need to preserve Russia as a civilization based on its national identity, on our long-standing traditions, the culture of our peoples, our legacy. And the only way to achieve these goals is by working together. We need solidarity.
Well, what you just watched were live images that we're receiving from Moscow. As we told you before, that was President Vladimir Putin's annual State of the Nation address to the Federal Assembly. He touched upon a series of very important issues regarding Russia's domestic problems, as well as international issues such as the INF, which was the most important issue he raised, pointing to the fact that Russia has never violated the INF, the nuclear treaty that dates back to President Reagan and Gorbachev of the time when they signed a nuclear proliferation treaty to stop the arms race during the Cold War. Now, Putin was very clear in pointing to the fact that it is the U.S. which is in violation of the INF treaty. So he also made a number of announcements as far as the Russian military advancements are concerned. He said that a nuclear submarine will soon be unveiled in Russia. A submarine, the first submarine actually with the capability to have a new drone complex on it, will be launched as well. Hypersonic missiles are another one of Russia's military achievements. And also, he said, 5 new Navy ships will be added to Russia's naval fleet. Of course, as we told you before, President Vladimir Putin was very clear in stating that Russia will have to take reciprocal measures because the United States is in violation of the INF Treaty and has stated that it will leave the treaty in 6 months, and Russia will have to do the same, despite the fact that it was not willing to do so. We'll be bringing you more on Vladimir Putin's address to the Federal Assembly of Russia later throughout our bulletins.